Welcome to Loleventvods. These are the best highlights of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
Out of those big sleep moments, and there is pressure on whenever you're going to pick something like
steal away this blue buff.
This is such a game. This just feels like a smite fight, though. Maybe if he lands everything, it'll be all right. But
yeah, it might be just be a flip.
Seed.
I mean, we'll see.
This is a lot to bet on a flip. Oh, manages to grab it from the side of Bukata.
The Paris is here.
Knock back to the wall is there. Paris immediately going to fall. Ice from downtown. Bukata stronger in the matchup, yes, but not in a 3v1.
As BDS bot lane here moving first, immediately to it. But it's actually 1-1-3 starting with the Skarner Flash E, which I wasn't expecting. And it ends up being Bukata going down, but we got crazy trades on top.
Relevant. Boom!
It's a solo kill.
Blank. Gen X flashing straight into his face with a long range weapon.
He's doing it.
That's what's supposed to happen, right? You're supposed to be able to bully him. Paris on the way out now. Bloodbath on every side of the map. Both teams, seeing that they have the isolated 2v2, decide it's time to start fighting. Kadui getting
1-1-3 is here
now, but 1-1-3 is on the way in. Ishtal's edge, finding the knockback flash out from Kadui. Loopy will be locked up, but no ulti quite yet. Loopy set to fall. Nice lockdown, and 1-1-3 grabbing another kill.
And after a disaster,
so good for the confidence and good for the state
no
of the
flash
game,
here.
But Kadui way too far forward. Thought he was safe. I mean, he's going to take his time walking out of this one, but he should just fall. Shattering strike, fall up CC there. Overextending, they don't have the damage to immediately punish. Q going wide. And Ice, he's just too damn clean. Again, he was dead 15 seconds ago, but they just had to make sure the buttons were going to get hit. The skill shots
didn't have to reload. But it was a great sidestep by Ice there onto the Varus Q. It is going to be the Gross picked up by Bukata. But now Kadui falling there, and most likely Drake going over to the side of BDS. I mean, Loopy has a crazy cheese here.
Loopy can get things kicked off. Reeker does have ult. Q flash forward. Immediate follow-up. They're only managing to lock up one. 1-1-3 now ready to turn. Reeker doing decent damage, but we'll have to snap back in a second. Now taken out of the fight. Ice 4-shot going to hit the Drake, and down it goes. Reeker going back in with the Q3.
And it's messy from both teams.
As the Hex Flash takes him away. Bukata going in. Not aware there's a Skarner waiting. Excellently layered CC. Not even time to put anyone to sleep.
That's a disaster for SK, and it's so disjointed as Irrelevant gets a good little chunk here onto Reeker, but you see Loopy wants to go for the 1-1-3 is playing this early game fantastically, like we talked about earlier. He's able to get these huge early game gold leads through his creative pathing, his creative thinking, and I want to see, like, come on, finish it.
Agreed. We're pretty far away from there. Closing game's the struggle for this BDS lineup. But again, I think the 1-1-3, the hero of the game thus far, falls behind a bit early because of the strength of Lilia, leverages his bot. And this is big for anyone following BDS. Hold that thought as Paris is locked up. Bukata here to follow. Paris taken down. Nice little trap there from SK to punish. But meanwhile, on the top side, the counter punch coming through is now it's Gen X who's in trouble. Forced to flashback, but will get cut down. Another TP on the way up. Reeker with ulti available, and Nuke gonna start TPing out. 1-1-3. They just try to find an angle to go into the wall, but that is a fast Yone. Nice flash to the side. Nice lock up to bring him under tower.
No way.
Knock back into the wall. Knock up. The kill will still come through. Maybe a 1/10 of a second.
Onto this bot side while 1-1-3 is making this top side play. And it's a great dive, but because Reeker has the TP, he's able to force both Nuke TP out and kill 1-1-3. But a very well executed dive. 1-1-3 takes that last tower shot, which brings him down so low. Reeker checks the bush intelligently with W, thinking that Nuke could be TPing out. And 1-1-3 just barely, maybe if he eat him into the tower or something, he could CC'd him for a little bit longer, but doesn't quite get up.
Super close game, but BDS remain ahead on objectives, and it's likely they're going to close out the feats here.
Yone here is able to get quite a decent gold lead onto this Azir. Getting to zone Gnar here. It's a good cross map from SK.
Also the Blade Spike, definitely going to feel good. Nice bit of a trap here. Loopy going over the wall, trying to lock up Paris. Soul unbound from Reeker, good bit of damage down, but not nearly enough to get any kills. Bukata on the way in. Now a sleep might change the story, but the rage is starting to stack. That's one sleepy Gnar. Desperately wants to go Mega, but this fight is getting awkward fast as Paris has generated so much space and Irrelevant now goes Mega. I don't think this dive is there. Ice on the way in too. He's got the range. The curtains have been called. But SK are getting the hell out of dodge. Well defended by the side of BDS.
It's a great...
But not able to stop Nuke from this immense side lane pressure. They're also going to concede bot lane tier 1.
Yeah, now Nuke will catch back up in gold onto this Yone, which feels pretty damn good for him. And if they can play range very well, they can always poke them down and generate space that way. I would say that I favor BDS comp going like later and later into the game. I also do think it gets to a point where Nard should start.
BDS do leverage it to get priority position on the objective.
Par's getting poked out a little bit.
SK walking to this choke is definitely tough, but Irrelevant's backing off, so he's not going to threaten too much here. Now we've just conceded we want full 50-50. Now that the Mega is gone, BDS are in a bit of a tougher position. Gen X coming in behind. Paris will spot him, but who is spotting who? Paris finds the initial engage. Irrelevant now on the chase in. Loopy locked up. Kadui trying to fire back. Bukata, eyes set on the objective. 2.5k health getting lower and lower. 1-1-3 too far away. That's the Drake already picking over, but Nuke scooping 2 up. Finding Kadui looking to chase down Gen X as well. Locked out comes in from Ice. Paris gonna find the CC. 1-1-3 knocks him back. Symphony of CC there from BDS as they find those kills, but SK to make it better. But right now, I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, 1-1-3 doing a little
threatening. Loopy just walking forward. This tower is about to fall. Good VAR assault to start things off. Paris missing a bit on the shattering strike. Irrelevant off to the side. Reeker laying down a lot of damage, but not going to finish much here as Paris re-engages. Nuke setting up the tower. Nice positioning from BDS, denying any potential fallout from SK. And again, disconnected from the side of SK because whatever angle you were hoping to find is removed the second that he throws up that tower.
It's an Otacon start here, but SK want a match. They want to fight.
About in 9 seconds. Lilia fast, but not fast enough to get here, so SK will need to fight if they want to stop this one or prey on some sort of miracle steal. Some sort of fumble from 1-1-3, 3k, getting lower, shock blast in, ulti goes through, and they manage to steal it! Ruins Otacon, but the flowers are still going to get taken down. Ice trying to clear as many as he can, but he only has 4 bullets. That was incredibly awkward. They do manage to find the steal. I guess I caster cursed it, but 1-1-3 still trying to force the fight. Gen X with a knockback, but just brings his team deeper into the fight. A lonely Swirl Seed, the only sign of Bukata in this exchange. Kadui, good damage. Irrelevant, not going to get hit by the Q. SK still pushing forward. They got it. They got the Otacon out.
I don't know how. Reeker got a 3-4-man Yon ultimate while also stealing the Otacon at the same time. I need a replay. How does he steal? What's his? I'm speechless. His ulti didn't even look like it hit the Otacon. And they had smite.
It's a bold move, but it's a huge committal. Okay, so they want to play through the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, BDS happy to play through mid. Nuke keeping that pressure up. No one shepherding that wave in from SK. Nuke can just keep pushing if he wants to threaten or deny some resources. Both teams 5v5, posturing, fishing for the fight. Irrelevant Meganar. Gen X trying to proc it early, looking to knock him back. Blast cone there. Reeker can now follow. Full committal onto Irrelevant. They want to take this Nard to the fight, but it does mean that they've conceded the objective. 1-1-3 immediately coming in, trying to find the follow-up. A kill traded. Loopy going for more on the engage. Kadui with the ultimate. Lockdown on the Skarner. The chain CC there, but he still manages to get down the Impale. Sleep coming through. Can they find the follow-up? Nuke going for the pushback. The team ready to go. Eyes on Ice. The Jin ready to take over, but he just doesn't have the position. SK, more kills coming out in the play.
And it's so
again, we see the start here.
Like, I like Irrelevant has a perfect fight here. He's about to hit Mega. He can be so useful in this fight, but he misses this ulti on Gen X. He's too late in taking this plant, so he gets cancelled, and then he jumps when he's already dead. It's just a disaster for him, right? But then 1-1-3 flashes out, and he's just barely able to ult Gen X here. Gen X should ideally space a little bit further back. He doesn't get hit by the Skarner ult, and maybe they can just take Skarner down without him dying. And then it's a great flash ulti from Nuke to take down Loopy.
Effectiveness on crit chance. No longer there. Same case for Yasuo. So Reeker hitting harder than he ever has before, and Irrelevant doesn't have any CC in this form, so the nerf doesn't matter, but the buff sure as hell does.
And the stopwatch. I mean, the Seeker's arm guard.
Yeah.
Oh, Loopy.
Pale over the wall. Loopy locked up. CC well layered as Kadui tries to fire back, but Loopy still standing tall. Curtain call coming out, but all of SK ready to follow up. Some damage coming through onto Reeker, but Reeker can just now chase, getting incredibly aggressive, unstoppable as he recalls. Loopy will finally drop. Reeker getting taken out as well. The Ignite gonna finish the job, and now Nuke on the chase. Hungry for a little bit more. Baron on the table. BDS. They can start it, but it's a tough call. Bukata does have flash. He could just look to steal. Kadui just continuing to poke. Relevant Meganar on the way.
SK needs to drop it. They weren't able to get any of the poke, and 3 versus 5 is just not good enough. And it's Loopy getting caught out, but he's actually fine. But it's Reeker that really wants to make something out of this TP, and he ends up going too deep and falling. And SK are able to pick up the mid lane tower, but it's Nash for the side of BDS.
Massive to have that Nash make the difference. For now, the answer is no, but it gives SK so much more confidence to step up and poke. Nuke, though, continuing split pushing. BDS can just back away towards Nuke if they want a 5v5. Instead, play for the inhib tower. SK caught between a rock and a hard place. Again, they want the Mountain Drake, but still they're risking a 50-50 at this state while Nuke is guaranteed to break a tower. Reeker trying to find the fight, but he does not hit Ice. Crucially, Paris finding a bit of CC. Ice untouched. Objective down, 113. Better on the smite. That's the soul over the fight. The base now exposed as Nuke's involved. And this is disaster.
It's a disaster for SK, and this was practically a 4v5. And BDS doesn't look like they can go for
While
more.
His team took the objective. That is the worst possible scenario for SK. They had to make a choice. Either one, they would have lost something. And in this case, they lost both.
And that's 2 inhibitors gone. Mountain Soul for the side of BDS. And you kind of have to feel as SK. It's a tough game now.
It's a tough game. And again, it started well. I like the way they use Lily at that level 1 with the Bukata overstaying a bit, not respecting the lane prio. How do you build the Iron Man suit in the desert, aka how do you throw this game? If you let it go to Elder, I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Relevant standing on the side with Meganar, trying to zone. Wall up goes down, knock back onto Bukata. He should just fall. Stun coming through there as well, but he buys a bit of space with the stopwatch. Nuke and Ice now ready to follow. Nice knockout coming through from Paris. Instantly, the 3-man shuffle. The Emperor has arrived. SK not going to get the chance to fight for anything. Not the Elder, not the Baron. Bukata gets one back in return. Reeker does a little bit of damage here, but it's just not enough. Minions crashing in, but BDS want to play for a few more kills. The Relevant gets another auto down. Loopy will survive. The base, however, will not. And there it is for Ice. Penta-kill for the Jin. 4 bullets, 5 kills.
And BDS, they will remain in control of this game as they close it out with a beautiful team fight, good patience, and they didn't throw it. It's not going to be a raid boss just because he takes a bit to kill. So it's okay in
Tough,
that.
the Shroud.
I think Relevant can just start fighting Genax here and try to make him burn spells, and then 113 can wrap in from behind. As Genax probably feels a little bit safe with this ward.
Oh, he's no longer safe, however. Exhausted, Irrelevant now going in, 113 committing. Gwen immune as Genax tries to get a bit more damage down. Irrelevant trying to find the snip on a Genax. Nice shuriken flip, but still, that's first blood for BDS.
And that's the cost of not having the big strengths of him. But we have Loop here.
Hook connects, follow-up CC there. Reeker, good follow-up damage. Nuke still has his flash, holding on as long as he can. Ignite ticking. Doesn't even burn it. 96 HP, walks away. Reeker desperate to get the wave in. But 113 is right here. They'll spot Reeker. Paris coming in as well. Nuke has to be careful not to overstay. It could be in trouble. Combo there. Easy kill pickup. Solo lanes from BDS. Finding massive advantage. SK at the very least are going to get this Drake, and BDS not in a great position to get something else on the other side of the map, so they might just try to fight this, but they're at a man disadvantage. Can't quite see. Nuke is level 6. Can ult into the fight. Paris only level 5. It could be tough. 113 in the midst of everybody. The lock up. The CC is there. 113 set now to fall. The flash forward into his teammates. That is not what you wanted. 200 health or more taken away from every member of BDS. Right as you praise him, it all starts to fall apart.
113 almost. Now it's a grub fight as both teams posture to contest.
Neither side got the dragon, but 113 is here to match. Relevant first move. Mid lane prio contested. Nuke relatively low. The Reeker, of course, with no ultimate does make it pretty hard to finish a kill.
It's going to be Grubs just going over to the side of BDS with that top and mid prio. Feeling pretty good about that one. And as you said, due to the fight on Drake, nobody actually got Drake, which means BDS could look to, you're not going to stomp him, but you're just going to scale up and be as useful, which I much prefer rather than this very volatile Ignite Exhaust. We need to fist.
Yeah. And it's clear that Genax wants to be that kind of player, wants to leverage these picks. And in game 1, to be fair, the Jace pick did pay off. They did find some early leads from it. It just didn't transition into anything more meaningful. But Irrelevant very rapidly becoming a problem as this fight breaks out. Ulti in from the Hui. Kadui free firing. 113 goes forward and will get taken down. Ulti over the wall from Ice. Loopy still walking away as the Drake falls for SK.
And again, it's a mistake from 113.
Genax out of the little bit of a hole that he has.
Problem is
900 gold lead.
Immune.
Hook. Genax taking his time. Patience on the Shroud. Only level 5 now uses it.
Very well played by Relevant. Dodges out on the Akali E and immunes the Nautilus hook. It's so hard
to be a 4v4, but Nuke is recalling. Can get there pretty quickly with the Weaver's Wall.
He's going to look to TP in, I think, just on the pink ward, and they just started up.
They don't have push topside either.
Irrelevant can kind of 1v2 here and just keep them at bay.
Ready for the full-on 5v5. Flash is up across the board for SK, except for the Akali, who does not have one. Same
Ice
story
is a
for
bit zoned
BDS.
out.
BDS being pushed back. Loopy, decent flank, but they're just going to try and turn it. Bernie doesn't even get a chance to proc the Aftershock. He's just instantly deleted. In the meantime, Irrelevant trying to 2v1 here. A single grub. All that's left. BDS already got 4. They're going to get 1 more as well. That's 5. The Gwen still standing. Irrelevant dashing back into 1-1-3. Count up is Genax. Down he goes. Ice on a killing spree. Complete and total disaster. The Weaver's wall coming in. Rika running for his life. Bukata taken out as well. BDS demolishing the fight.
And Yatabi.
There's a Swifties and a plated steel caps.
Plated steel caps could do. Come on.
Oh, he said 7. Reeker caught out. Flick comes in. That's all the gold lead. That's the only strong position on the map. Deleted. The ulti's still going. Ice now ready with the setup. Just a few seconds away from the ultimate. Kadui waiting over the wall. Lays down a rocket, but not much else. BDS pushing in bot side, getting that pick, looking to knock down this tower.
Yeah,
Much
great.
closer than this. Game 2 has been complete slaughter thus far.
He loses to Fnatic and BDS beats SK. Oh, a little wall hit from Nook.
Then we have the circle of... The circle is coming back. I'll just leave it at that. Reeker, nice fear. Gonna poke damage down. This is a very hard 1v1 to win. He's dead. 1-1-3's
no
on the
flash
way.
this way.
Threaded volley to finish. And again, caught on a side lane. The future. Now they just need to do it one more time.
Yeah.
Where Nice doesn't have flash, he could be more vulnerable in the coming team fight, but BDS already have mid-prio and are set up on the objective first, so it looks like SK will concede this one as well.
Yeah, especially now you already used that Sejuani ulti. You did get the flash out of it, which feels good, but with Corki no mana, no Sejuani ult, you definitely have to give over this Herald. I think that what I want to see from SK is when it comes to this Drake spawn at 3 minutes, I think they should try to cross-map it for gold, and in Genax is going to get me.
Ulti coming in from 1-1-3. Setup is good. Flick is good. Follow-up kill is instantaneous. SK asleep at the wheel. Control ward covering that Raptors pit for BDS, paying dividends.
Ever try to match numbers? All you need is a little... Oh, Nuke.
Nope. Another flick. Reeker's going to die again. Root
Does have
there.
flash.
Is flashing out, following up with an ult of his own. Uses the Severing Bolt probably for a bit of extra poke, but just gets the Seraphs.
Yeah, Genax is here, but he's going to be forced out.
Weaver's wall comes out.
Reeker's no
Reeker
flash.
again, the target. Split fight though. BDS could lose on the bottom side of the fight. Nuke finding the initial kill onto Reeker. Paris now trying to retreat. Genax looking for a bit of follow-up, and Paris will get taken down.
Okay, a 1-for-1 for SK, as they're able to actually... It's a nice little punish, but now they're going to have to give the Drake. And what you really want to see from the side of SK here is that they're able to pressure this top side. But
Reeker,
instead it's
face
Reeker that's
checking
caught.
again. One more combo.
No flash.
No
he's dead.
flash. Nuke unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's just a mistake from Reeker, right? He face checks into enemy strong side.
I mean, in a perfect game, or in a perfect level of performance, there's so few plays, is Genax is rooted up. Chain CC there, ulti going in for the MF. Genax forced to retreat. Kadui just desperate to clear the wave, and the tier 2 will fall.
A little bit slow ult there by us.
Mattering once you're out of your 1v1 matchup.
Yeah.
1-1-3 might be caught here. Kadui now following. They have to be careful not to overchase into Nuke. Nice start, but Bukata eating a lot of that damage. Not bad for the side of SK. Reeker now here could potentially look to follow up. Irrelevant off to the side, zoning away Genax. Reeker trying to get an angle to get a bit more damage down. Otacon leash, but it's hitting BDS a decent amount. Genax dashing over the wall. Nuke now dominating. That's a single kill. SK, do they want to keep going for this? They're down a man, but a lot of blinking health bars on the side of BDS. Nuke half HP, 1-3 healing up nicely, and Ice isolated on his lonesome.
Irrelevant is coming.
Relevant looking to herd them. BDS hoping to find the setup. Weaver's wall goes down. Irrelevant trying to find the angle. Paris immediately going to fall up. It's a split fight, but BDS are winning both of them. Irrelevant now on the chase. The needlework making quick work of Kadui. Bukata nowhere to go as the flick back does manage to land, and it's complete and total disaster.
And it's an ace for BDS as they play it nice and slow. They know that... Did he say easy?
I couldn't hear that.
I think he just said GG, maybe he said GG easy. That would be crazy.
Ease, but
I feel like only noobs say easy, you know?
I don't know.
I've never heard a pro player that says GG easy.
The second I got hired by Riot, I stopped all chatting. I decided it was never worth the risk ever again, and I just turned it off.
Would be funny if I said GG easy, but...
Yeah, I don't want to put words into his mouth. People can scrub back and decide for themselves what was said in that moment. BDS hasn't been easy, but it has been very clean. 7-0-8 for Nuke, 6-0-3 for Ice. Irrelevant 3-0-3, 2.2k gold lead. This Akali pick not working out at all.
They can get all inhibs here. GenX might be in trouble.
Falling. Irrelevant ignoring GenX completely to just hit the tower. Will finish it in the face of the Akali and is now finally forced to withdraw. So 200 gold back as Loopy's now going to give his life in exchange for very little. Not much else to say. Bukata starting the fight. Nuke. Paris now running. Paris gonna die. Hits the cowbell. He's withdrawing. Guys, like,
I think he said.
Just assume they got it, but it was only the tower for that Irrelevant got.
That's gonna be the Nash started up here. They don't do it that fast, but
They're only two-manning it.
I
So
think Nuke and Paris can kind of 2v5 here. Whoever face checks dies.
Got it going in. SK, last hope, last fight. 8k on the Baron, getting lower. Bukata knocked up, knocked towards the pit, a little bit risky, but BDS just turning their attention now. Ulti unleashed from the MF, Irrelevant on the side. They're desperate to kill this Gwen, but he's still standing. Shield coming in from the lock of the Iron Solari. GenX going back in, but he's exhausted, he's a tired little ninja, and the shutdown coming out as well.
Yeah, you have to think that's going to be game here. It's going to be Gwen recalling, being able to TP back a 4 versus 2. Kadui is going to have to make a miracle to try to hold this.
I think the kid of Corki is just not enough. You need a 4-item Aphelios if you want to turn this one back, but maybe Kadui can get it done. Parrots with a quick combo, the answer is no. No, he cannot. It was short-lived. SK completely decimated. BDS can feel good about this. Huge confidence win for them. For SK, you just hope that they can adapt coming into their future series. Hope that this doesn't stymie their momentum too much from that first upset against Fnatic.
It was a very clean game from BDS. Super happy with the glow up from 1-1-3 in Paris. A nice little 2-0 and no real big throws. Little bit messier game 1 while an incredible clean game 2. And 1-1-3 showing that he can carry on tanks too, baby.
That he can. Both games, that was the case. Congratulations to BDS.